If you've been watching the channel for a long time, you know that I've built one of the biggest Lego Vanitors of all time. So recently, I've been thinking to myself, how am I going to top that? There's no topping the Vanitor, which is why I thought I would do the next best thing. Build the ship that counters the mock, which is the Lego Invisible Hand. The Lego Invisible Hand. But before we get into building the mock, we have a lot of planning to do to make sure we build the absolute best mock we possibly can. So the first thing I want to take a look at is the scaling of this mock. Now, there were two versions of the Separatist Dreadnaught. There was a smaller version, which we see in Revenge of the Sith, and then there was a larger version we saw used by Admiral Trench. However, for the majority of the Clone Wars and in Revenge of the Sith, we see the smaller version used, which is why I'm going with the smaller version of this ship, because my goal one day is to have the Vanitor and the Separatist Dreadnaught that I've made at Brickworld Chicago side by side one day. Now, in universe, the Vanitor is a little bit longer than the Invisible Hand, and since my custom Vanitor comes in at a whopping 7 feet long, I'm going to make the Invisible Hand 6'5", just to get that scaling absolutely perfect. So to make my life a little bit easier, I decided to print out a massive piece of paper that spans the whole length of 6'5", so I can get a proper scale for each section of the build. Last time with the Vanitor, that was something I've always struggled with, and we had to do a lot of redesigning. This way, it'll be a little bit easier down the road. So if the scaling for the ship is correct, I believe that the ship will be around at its maximum point 50 to 52 studs wide. Right now we got 3 16 by 16 plates laid down, so that's 48 right there, and then there'll be some extra stuff for, greebling, etc. on the outside shell of the ship, so I'm expecting it to be around 52 studs wide, which is way smaller than the Vanitor in the ways of width, which is really surprising, and will also make the build process a lot easier. Okay, we have begun the build process a bit, and I've started to lay out how the ship is going to look from the exterior. So this time around, I'm using a lot of these plates because it'll be a lot stronger. I didn't use this the first time around, and I ended up regretting it forever. What? I tried to install them later, but it wasn't really a good technique, which is why I'm trying to install them now this time around. And then we're filling out the rest of the ship with these base plates right here. What's going to occur with these base plates right here, I'm not 100% sure of what I want to put in each section of yet. However, I do have a plan that the hallway will run down this path right here, and then the rooms will be on each side of it. So since the last time I filmed, Black Friday happened, and I bought 3 invisible hands. I just thought it'd be really cool to show off because I got these for 40% off, and on top of that, I got an extra 15% off because I work at Target. So very happy I got these bad boys. But the more important reason why I'm filming this clip is because we got a bunch of Lego parts for Black Friday that will help us finish the core frame of the ship. So it's been a minute since I filmed a little update, and I figured I would do that now because I built way too much without filming, and I'm really happy with how this is coming out. Of course, this is all temporary, but just to see the size of this thing coming together is so real. So to break this build down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it split into 2 parts right here. This is the exact part where they actually split in the movie for both halves of the Invisible Hand. Now, my plan for this is to have it be built on stilts. So there'll be one right here, and then there'll be one towards the back end right here. So I gotta figure out a way to make this connection so strong that it won't want to snap in the center, because I feel like it'd be really weird to have 3 sets of support beams, right? Kind of like how the Lego Vanitor has it when they have one support beam right there and one support beam behind Commander Cody's head. There we go. And I know people are going to say it now. Will, you're crazy. You should not be doing this with your Vanitor. Guys, it's fine. It has not fallen once, and it's been here for, 6 months now? So don't worry about this board that's hanging onto the Vanitor by a thread. It's totally fine, guys. So that is something I'm probably going to save for the next update, is the support beams, because I don't have those pieces on hand right now. But I really wanted to just give you guys a sense of scale of how big this thing is going to be. So we've begun to work on the build a little bit, and the first part I wanted to work on was the hanger because it's the coolest part, right? This time around on the hanger, I decided to make it snot instead of all tiled like on the last mock because I really wanted to try and get those really tiny details, like these little thin lines. We can't get these thin lines with just laying plates down, which is why I decided to make this whole thing snot. And before I get any further into going into this design, I want to let you guys know I did get this from online from Jay Hostier. He's a great mock builder, and yes, he did give me permission to actually use this in my mock. However, I'm modifying it to make it a little bit more accurate in some places because I feel like he didn't capture every fine detail. He did a great job, don't get me wrong, but there's a few small things like this in-between spot that I really want to focus on. This in-between spot is something he just used a gray line for, and I didn't really like that. I wanted to try and close off these square-like forms by using this piece right here and including these little orange bits that are shown within the ship. Sure, I don't think I have the best way for it, but with the scale I'm working at, I don't think I can make them any bigger without making them look a little bit too wonky. So this is the best I can do for now. But as you can see, this piece doesn't really fit inside here. Well, that's because I got a studded surface instead of a flat tile surface. I do have to order a few more of these pieces. But the real tricky part is getting something to fit down here, which is kind of complicated because there's such a little bit of space down there, and I don't know what I'm doing with that section as of yet. As you can see, I've tried prototyping a lot with a few different designs, but a 1x4 works, and a 1x2 also works. Kind of like this, just to get that low section in and across, but it won't be accurate because it's not the right size in proportion to this. But I think it will get the point across and still look really good. And after all the experimenting I've done for hours with this, there's just so many different ones I've tried. I think this is the best option for the build. Okay guys, we've made some amazing progress on the hangar. I am really liking how the snot layout is coming along for the interior hangar. We got to capture every detail that we wanted to, including this low section right here, which I think looks absolutely great. Unfortunately, this is a little bit thinner than I would have wanted it to be, but again, this is all the space that we're working with for the hangar, and I want to be able to have enough space in the center right here to actually create some kind of nice pattern, because I took up a lot of the space for the hangar with this side and this side, even though they're not that big within the actual ship itself. But I'm very happy with how this came out. Unfortunately, however, I didn't order enough 1x3s to complete the other side, which is why we're going to hold off on that till next week. But overall, I am very happy with the progress we've made on this mock today, and I think it looks absolutely great. Just a general PSA for the next update. It probably won't be next week. I'm trying to do this thing where I do every other week on this Separatist Dreadnaught series, or maybe every 3 weeks or something along the lines of that, just so I provide a higher quality of content when I do produce these updates, and also so that I can focus more on my new channel, which I'm working on, where I give a lot of hot takes on Lego. So if you want to go check that out, be my guest right here. It's just more of me, you know. I upload every single Saturday on that channel, so make sure you go check that channel out. It's doing rather well, and I hope we can get it to 100 subs soon, because I really just want to give my honest opinion about the Lego space, and I'm just tired of all this fakeness that's going around, and this is a new place where I can be even more authentic about my opinions in the Lego space. Well, on this channel, we produce things like a mock or stop motion. But that's wrapped up for week 1 of building my Separatist Dreadnaught. I hope all you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button down below. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out and goodbye.